The USS Saratoga, a mighty titan of the seas, stands as a silent witness to the turbulent pages of naval history. Beyond its towering decks and steel hull lies a tapestry woven with the untold tales of triumph and resilience. But what makes this naval giant stand out among the waves? What stories lie beneath the surface? Well, join us as we delve into a voyage into the mysterious depths of the oceans, unveiling the untold legacy and unbeatable might of a maritime legend, the USS Saratoga. First, let's take a look at the history of the impressive warship USS Saratoga CV-3, the Lexington-class beginnings. This mighty vessel, a part of the Lexington-class aircraft carriers, was built for the United States Navy in the 1920s. Named after the 1777 Battle of Saratoga, a crucial event during the Revolutionary War, Saratoga holds a unique place in naval history. Saratoga, the fifth ship with this name, was somewhat overshadowed by its counterpart USS Enterprise. The Lexington-class battlecruisers, with a unique design, were the only American battlecruisers to reach an advanced stage of construction. A shift in design. The construction of these ships was intriguing. Despite being initially planned as battlecruisers, they evolved into large and incredibly fast aircraft carriers, some of the largest and fastest of their time. Unfortunately, Saratoga's destiny took a turn when the Washington Naval Treaty of 1922 caused the cancellation of the battlecruiser project. In response, the United States converted two of these ships, including Saratoga, into large aircraft carriers. This conversion marked a significant shift in the ship's purpose and design, launch and commission. Saratoga's journey from being laid down to launched and eventually commissioned was an interesting one. While she was laid down after her sister ship, Constellation CC-2, Saratoga was further along in construction. Both ships were taken in for conversion into large aircraft carriers, with Saratoga alongside Lexington. In April 1925, Saratoga was launched, but it wasn't until November 1927 that she was formally commissioned. The delay was partly due to lessons learned from the operation of the USS Langley, the first American carrier. It took until 1928 for Saratoga to enter service officially, including a prolonged sea trials phase, to understand how to operate a ship of her magnitude. Saratoga's early service was marked by unique tests and experiments. In January 1928, she played a key role in testing the idea of landing a large airship on a carrier. Although the test with the Los Angeles airship was a one-time occurrence, it showcased the ship's adaptability. During this period, Saratoga served as a testbed for various procedures, including landing operations and understanding the functioning of a large carrier in active service. Saratoga also received her famous black stripe down her stack during this time, a unique identifier differentiating her from her identical sister, Lexington. It served as a training ground for future leaders in World War II, including Captain William Halsey, a notable figure who commanded Saratoga during this time, leaving a lasting impact on naval history. Now, let's take a closer look at the fascinating aircraft career of the USS Saratoga CV-3. Throughout most of her time in service, Saratoga carried a varying number of aircraft, usually ranging from 70 to 80. The specific mix of bombers and fighters varied depending on the Navy's doctrine and priorities at the time. An interesting note is that Saratoga, along with Lexington, introduced a unique feature to American carriers. They carried spare aircraft fully assembled from the ceiling of their hangar decks, expanding their official complement of aircraft. Fleet problems and tactical evolution. Moving forward to the 1930s, Saratoga and Lexington engaged in joint exercises known as fleet problems. These large-scale maneuvers aim to test naval tactics, strategy, and ship operations. While some lessons proved valuable, such as understanding the use of warships, others, like Saratoga accidentally striking Pearl Harbor twice during these exercises, went unnoticed. Little did they know that the Japanese would take cues from these events just before the infamous attack on Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor episode. Just before the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, Saratoga had undergone a brief refit. This included modifying her flight deck for enhanced speed and maneuverability. Fortunately, she was on the West Coast during the attack, dispatched later for a relief mission to Wake Island. However, due to the presence of two Japanese carriers, The mission was called off. Although she escaped damage during Pearl Harbor, her commanding officer expressed dissatisfaction with the orders. Encounter with I-6. In January 1942, Saratoga faced a different kind of challenge. The Japanese submarine I-6 torpedoed her, causing relatively light damage. This incident led to another round of refits. During these refits, Saratoga underwent significant changes. Her initial 8-inch guns were replaced by more practical dual 5-inch mounts. This marked the early implementation of the American doctrine: if there's space, put a gun there. Her anti-aircraft arsenal became one of the heaviest globally, boasting numerous 40mm Bofors mounts and an abundance of 20mm guns. The ship's torpedo defenses were also improved with the addition of a large bulge, and her radar fit was upgraded. A notable visible change was the lowering of her famous or infamous stack to enhance stability. Skirmishes in the Solomon Islands. Saratoga's first taste of direct combat occurred in skirmishes around the Solomon Islands. These engagements culminated in the Battle of the Eastern Solomons, where Saratoga's aircraft sank the Japanese light carrier Ryujo. However, during this period, she also faced another Japanese torpedo, this time from the I-26. Collaborations. After repairs and refits, Saratoga became the only operational American fleet carrier in the Pacific, leading to unique collaborations. This allowed the Navy to negotiate the services of HMS Victorious under the codename USS Robin to temporarily strengthen carrier numbers. This collaboration led to an innovative concept of sharing air wings, with Saratoga focusing on bombers due to her size, while Victorious operated fighters. This experiment continued until other American carriers entered service, transferred to the British Eastern Fleet. Returning to the Pacific in 1944, Saratoga soon joined the British Eastern Fleet, engaging in strikes on Japanese holdings around the Indian Ocean. After a brief refit over Christmas 1943, Saratoga continued her Pacific service. Designated as a night combat carrier alongside the USS Enterprise, Saratoga experienced damage from bombs and kamikazes near Iwo Jima, leading to her final refit of the war. Post-war service. Saratoga's final years were spent as a training carrier, reliably and honorably serving in this role until the end of the war. Post-war, Saratoga served as one of the first and most prominent ships in Operation Magic Carpet, transporting returning soldiers. She continued her reliable service until designated as the largest ship in the Operation Crossroads nuclear tests. Final moments. Surviving the first airburst bomb with minimal damage, Saratoga faced fatal damage from the second underwater detonation. Despite efforts to repair her, radiation prevented further work, leading to her sinking on July 25, 1946. It's a sad end for a ship that served admirably for so long, contributing significantly to the development of American carrier doctrine. The USS Saratoga, though now resting beneath the waves, leaves behind a legacy that has shaped naval history.